Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV on a day that's had some ups and some downs already. We've had the overlap with Daniel Levy being interviewed by Gary Neville, a 36-minute watch. Very interesting. We'll get to it. Lots of different comments. I do feel that when people watch these things, I feel like they're hoping they're going to find out more than they do. And they always set themselves up for disappointment. I thought it was quite an interesting watch. Thought there was some good information in there about managers, some good information in there about how we compete against the clubs with more financial muscle, some good information about the stadium build. But essentially, you're only going to see what Daniel Levy and Tottenham want you to see. That's a given. I don't think we were ever going to find out loads that we went, oh my God, I didn't know that. That's amazing. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Big up to each and every one of you on a morning that sees PALHINHA as a Tottenham Hotspur footballer, at least for a year, at least for 1 year on loan. PALHINHA is a Tottenham Hotspur footballer. He joins Mohamed Kudus through the door, as well as Takai, who we've yet to see. So listen, it's all going on. And obviously the James Maddison injury, waiting to hear what the exact extent of that injury is. And what we do know is that we have got a few weeks left to buy some footballers. This is why, and I'll say it again, all these people that say things like the window's not shut yet, give it time. This is why I think you get your footballers in now. You get them in before the pre-season starts. You get them in before the pre-season friendlies finish at least, and the first game of the season, which of course is 12 days. Sorry, that's a complete lie. It's not 12 days away, is it? 15 days away. 15 days away. Tottenham Hotspur will play their first league. I'm having an absolute mare here. No, I was right the first time. 12 days away. Sorry, I don't know what is going on with my math there. 12 days away. We need a few proven footballers, should we say. We need a few men to come in. No more kids, no more children, please. I'm seeing posts fly around saying, oh, give Donnelly the chance in the 10. Really? The Champions League side? That's what we want to do? We want to be playing kids who have only ever played at League One level. We want to play them. I think we've got to think about it. Again, sentiment over reality kicking in for a lot of Spurs fans. But there's a lot to unpack, isn't there, as Tottenham fans? Today, we have got the What Are We Doing Here podcast, 6 p.m, myself and Perchy. And then at 8 p.m, over on the Spurs 5, we've got episode 4, where there's going to be a lot to unpack. And I've got a feeling, I haven't spoke to the guys about this yet. I haven't yet, but I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot about the overlap on there tonight. I can already in my head, I can envision it. I can already see what Sean's going to say, and I can already see what Lubo's going to say. I've got it. You know, when you've already got the debate, the row in your head of what they're going to go at from that interview. But we'll see tonight. Thomas Frank, the reason why PALHINHA joined, according to PALHINHA, that was the poll. It was Thomas Frank and his vision. Listen, all going on. It's all going on. And there's a lot of you in here already. But what I do know is this. I'll tell you what I don't know. Hang on. How many days until the 1st of September?
The 1st of September, 2020.
28 days. 28 days of a transfer window to go. 28. It's not a lot, is it? It's not a lot. It's 4 weeks. We've got 4 weeks of the transfer window to go. And Tottenham Hotspur need to make moves. It's been the topic of conversation all summer, hasn't it? Of course it has. In a transfer window, it's all of the topic. But it's a topic even more now. Kulusevski, how long is that man going to be out for? How long is James Maddison going to be injured for? And it all makes a huge impact on what we're going to do in this transfer window. What I think we can all agree on, I can't believe there is any footballers. I can't believe there's any football fans out there that are saying, no, we don't need any signings. I can't believe that there is anybody saying that. No matter what our differences are on on Levy and Enoch and Frank and this player, that player, I'm pretty sure that everyone is going to know that we need forwards. We are dead. Listen, I've made it very clear. When I've got fans that are so adamant I'm wrong about Tell and about Odegaard and Solanke and Richie, fine. If I said to you, that's going to be our forward for this season, if anyone truly says, yeah, I'm happy with that, you have to question their ambition. And also, you don't really ever have a go at the chairman again. If that's the level that people are happy with. I've got the same couple of people. Gosh, last night, God, did I have one guy going on at me about Sonny. Oh, my gosh. All night. Just, you said this, you. It's like, oh, my God, let it go. Oh, you're hypocritical. You got emotional. Didn't get emotional. Sonny's leaving. I know he's been a great player for Tottenham. Oh, got a lot to unpack this morning. A lot to unpack. We can all get it off our chests. We'll get the chips off our shoulders. We'll get it all off our chest. Here you go. Ruben said, you're wrong about Odegaard and Gray. Tell, don't see it. You're wrong about Odegaard and Gray. You're wrong about Odegaard and Gray. Tell, don't see it. What am I wrong about? Are they ready right now? See, again, Ruben, this is where people like you don't listen. I don't doubt that maybe in the future, Odegaard and Gray could be really good footballers. I've never said to the contrary. What I'm saying is right now, that's not where we should be spending 40 odd million pounds ago. Right now, we should be looking and buying season pro footballers. So again, people don't listen. This is the biggest problem. I'll be honest. I always say this to my wife. This is my biggest issue when I come on to YouTube. My biggest issue is that people simply have this inability to use these. I get annoyed with Wolfie on the on shows because of it, because what I say and what people want to hear are different. If I'm asked a question about Gray, could Gray be a great midfielder in a few years? Yeah, why not? Yeah. Could any young player? Yeah, sure. My query is not about that. It's not about what could they progress to become. It's about right now. Right now, are we buying what we need? And no, when we buy Tells and when we buy Odegaards and when we buy, again, look, we've got people like this. Fake fan Shane. Again, like Savva waffling. I don't know what I'm waffling about. Okay. So according to fake fan Shane, everybody, we don't need new signings. We don't need better forwards. There you go. We got it. We don't need new signings. We don't need new signings. Fake fan Shane has said it. We don't need new signings. Because that's what I've said. We need new signings. We need better than Odegaard, Gray, Tell, blah, blah. And what I liked was yesterday, if anyone's seen the interview, that who was it that did it? Alistair Gold has done an interview with Thomas Frank. And Thomas Frank has said the players that are in front of Archie Gray. He said he's a good talent, but there are many players in front of him. But when I say it, no, you don't know a player, you're wrong about him. Well, that's all I've said. What I've said is the same thing that Thomas Frank has, that the other midfielders are further along in their development than Gray. So my question has always been, when the push comes to shove, when the main games come along, when the Premier League games come along, when the Champions League games come along, how are we going to get all of these players minutes? Because for me, Bentancur and PALHINHA will be the two. After that, I think you've got Bergvall and Sarr. And then after that, I think you've got Gray. So I don't know why it offends people. You know, I don't know why that offends people. I'm not sure why. I don't think other fan bases have this problem where you suggest you want better players and you'll look down upon. Someone's waffling again. And it's, I've never, honestly, I'll be honest, my mum, rest in peace, she warned me about this years ago. And she said to me, she went, oh, I hate the internet. She went, it's going to bring out the worst in human behavior. And it does, unfortunately. It brings out trolls like this guy. It brings out trolls like this. It brings out trolls. And it's really sad, isn't it? It's a really sad state of affairs. But listen, we do need better players. I'm not waffling about that. I'm not wrong. Most of you know that about what I'm saying. We need better than Solanke, than Richarlison, than Odegaard, than Tell. It's that simple. It's that simple. If we want to do what Mr. Levy is saying, then yes, we need better. If we want to compete on all fronts, if we want to give Frank the best we can, then we need to get better. We need to buy better footballers. And we've already seen two in this window. To be fair to the club, we've already seen two. We've already seen Kudus come in, who's better than any winger we've got. We've already signed PALHINHA, who's the best DM we've had for a very long time. I mean, let's be fair. PALHINHA has got to be the best DM we've had for since what, Wanyama? I mean, he's levels above Højbjerg. He's levels above. Well, we haven't really got another number 6. But what I did like, guys, was this. I liked that in the interview Thomas Frank did with Alistair Gold, he turned around and he said, very shortly after being here and assessing the squad, I realised that we were missing that profile of player. For years and years and years, many of us have said it, right? There are many of us that have said it. Get a 6 in this window. Nope, this window's gone. Get a 6 in this window. Nope, this window's gone. Get a 6, get a 6, get a 6, get a 6. And none of these managers have asked for a 6. None of them have got a 6. Frank's turned up and within 2 weeks of training gone, yeah, need a 6. Yep, need a defensive midfielder. Yep, need some experience. And that's why I wanted him. He's a coach. He can look. He can see what's needed. He can develop. And this, for me, is absolutely brilliant. Now, whether or not this turns out to be a great thing for someone like Gray, I'm here for it. Develop Gray. Brilliant. Let Gray, if he is the number 6 waiting to be, let him learn from PALHINHA. I've got no problem with that. But people will hear what they want to hear, right? People always hear what they want to hear. And it never astounds me as to when I finish a show and the comments come in. It never astounds me when people go, you just said this on your show. And it's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. You've taken one sentence and run with it. But hey, it is what it is. And what I'll do for all these people that love challenging, start a channel. Go for it. Knock yourselves out. Start a channel in the Spurs community. I'll help you build and grow it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Smash the like buttons, people. I'm not going to keep asking, but please smash the like button. Start as you mean to go on. There's nearly 600 of you in here already. We've put a poll out. Simple one today, saying, what did you think of the overlap with Levy? The options are eye-opening, useful watch, meh, and not seen it yet. 41% of the 266 have not seen it yet, which surprises me. As soon as it was sent to me, I watched it this morning. I thought there was some good things in there. I did. I thought there was some good bits in there. I think there was some pointless bits in there, but I thought there was some good bits in there. Here we go. So this is what Thomas Frank said. Thomas Frank admits that he was surprised that Bayern Munich let PALHINHA go. He said, yes, I was a bit surprised. Bayern went hard for him 2 years ago, and for whatever reason, which I actually don't care about because we can get him, it was an opportunity for us. At this moment in time, there are not many clear number 6s in the market. So we are quite lucky to get him. I think he's a top player. Whatever the reason is, maybe the coach, the culture, the club himself, sometimes it's difficult to say. My concern is that he wanted to come and we wanted him to come. So I think it's a really good point from Thomas Frank. We all go, oh, but look at what happened at Bayern. I don't care what happened at Bayern. I don't care what happened at Bayern. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I don't care what happened at Bayern. All I care about is I've seen what this man's done in the Premier League. I've seen the gaps that we have in our team. And this guy fills a gap that we need to address. And for me, I don't think it needs to be that complicated. I see so many people when they're talking about transfer windows, they overcomplicate anything. They overcomplicate anything. They overcomplicate everything. For me, this isn't rocket science. Transfer windows have never been rocket science. Where are you weakest? Where are you weakest? Okay, we haven't got a DM. Cool. Get a DM. Right, we need a top right winger. Let's get a top right winger. Right, we need a left winger and a striker. Let's go and do it. Spurs seem to, throughout the years, have had a very much a scattergun approach where we sign a lot of players and you go, I don't quite know why we did that. I'll be honest, like right now, and I'm not saying that Takai won't be a good player for us. Again, I can't really measure a lot. But you look at the number of defenders we've got and you say, why? Now, 5 million, cool. It's worth the punt, right? 5 million, worth the punt. You bring him in. But when you actually look at it and you go, okay, you got Romero and you got Van der Ven and you got Danso and Dragoshin and Vuskovic and Davis. And then you look and you go, so why was he bought? Is it purely for the future and they're thinking of a 5 million punt? Is it that they can bring him in, skill him up, sell him on in a couple of years? Is it to crack the Japanese market as well as the South Korean market? I don't know. I guess you guys don't know, but sometimes we do this, don't we? We do, like, we bought Odegaard in, followed by Yang, followed by Tell, and you're thinking we're buying all these young wingers. You've already got Mikey Moore there. You know, you've got all of these players, and you're thinking, are we just stockpiling now? Are we actually going to buy what we need? And for me, I'm a little bit more ruthless, right? I'm a little bit more ruthless in my way of thinking. For me, yes, develop young players. Of course, develop young players. I come from a youth coaching background. Of course, develop young players. But don't develop young players at the detriment of the first team. That's always been a rule of mine. Don't use the first team that isn't sorted yet to develop. So it's easier for a Liverpool, an Arsenal, a City. These clubs have got brilliant 11s. So you can bring in a youngster, i.e. Miles Lewis-Skelly can come into the Arsenal team. It's well drilled. It's well settled. It's competing. And you say, go on then. Right, show us what you got. Very difficult to do that at Tottenham, and we've not even filled the square pegs with square holes. Very difficult to say, right, well, we need a top left winger and a top striker. Hang on, don't worry about that. I'll tell you what, let's go and get Odegaard. Let's go and get Tell. Let's go and get Yang. Because between Odegaard, Tell and Yang, what's that? 30 million for Odegaard, 45 million has been spent on Tell. Yang, I don't know what, 5, 10 million, I don't know what it is. You're looking at 75 million pounds. Now think what sort of a left winger you could buy for 75 million pounds. And this is where I think, probably this isn't just me. Maybe it is. This is where I think a majority of the fan base will get frustrated. And again, you have this in midfield. When people are talking about Gray, it's not that I don't think he'll become a good player in the future. It's not that I hate him. It's what could we have got for 40 million pounds in central midfield that solved the problem then? Now, it's not so much of an issue now because we've gone and got PALHINHA on loan. But these are where I look at the club and go, what do we want? What do we want? And by the way, I'll say this, and sometimes this offends people. Apologies if it does, but not really, because I think people are too sensitive with it. What do fans want? Because very much the same fans that preach about Levy doing terribly, about transfer windows, money spent, wages, are the same fans that the moment you talk about the Tells and the Odegaards and the Greys and the Takais, these are the people that come in and go, oh, you don't get it. They're great. Cool, all right. But if that's what you want, don't complain when we don't sign better players. And that's always been my point on it. It's always been my hope on it. Yes, Rob, I did see it. And yes, we're going to do all we can to help. Dan's going to do a 12-hour charity stream, and then I'll do one the next day, a 12-hour charity stream, and we'll raise as much money for that poor lad as we can, and give him as bright a future as possible. Because really, let's be honest, Rob. Oh, sorry. Let's be honest, Rob. These things are more important than football. So we'll see how much money we can raise. And we always raise thousands for these charities, don't we? Between us all, the YouTubers, we always raise money. And we will for this young lad. So kudos to Dan and to his wife Beth for looking into that and getting the information. So big up to both Dan and Beth for that. Sometimes it is nice to use the platforms that we build to give back, right? It's okay for me to say this is my business and whatever, but Sometimes it's nice to give back. Kate, absolutely. That first sentence. We need the here and now. Bang on. We need the here and now. We've got enough kids. We've got enough of them. As I said, listen, Odegaard, cool. Develop him. Build him up over the next year or two. I don't want him as my starting winger in a Champions League team. There's a difference. I don't know why that offends people. I don't know why so many people fight tooth and nails for these players. They take it very personally. Because what I can assure you is this. If Chelsea bought Tell, if Villa did, if Newcastle did, if Wolves did, no one would say that's a good player. You know what I mean? No one would say, wow, what a signing. When it's us, we back it to the hilt. We back it to the hilt. Where are we? Big up to my man, Piggy Smalls. Said, as someone who watched a lot of Bundesliga games, Milo is very good. Very good player. Very good player. If we get him, that would be great. I don't know if that's on the cards. I don't know if that's the sort of deal that Tottenham are going to be able to go and do. But that is definitely the sort of player. However, let's take it off the table. There we go. Take it off the table. Take it off the table. He has just signed for Saudi. Oh, dearie me. He's just signed for Saudi. Such a shame. Another good player. Let me show you. I believe that this has come out within the last few seconds. There we go. I'll show you here. Tut. Let's all stop talking about this guy now. There we go. Here we go. Exclusive. Al Ali agreed deal to sign Enzo Milot from Stuttgart. Here we go. Surprise move to hijack Atletico Madrid. Despite Spurs links, Milot will play for Al Ali. There we go. Done and done. So we can stop talking about him. But Piggy Smalls, I agree with you. Good player. Should have definitely been the sort of player we went for. But that Saudi Arabian pull is madness. Graham Bailey. I don't know if I agree with anything Graham Bailey says. Said Tottenham are keeping close tabs on PSG attacker Kolo Muani. And more. Everyone is sending through to me now that Milo has gone to Saudi Arabia. It is what it is, right? Not sure what we can do. Tell you what you lot can do, though. You lot can smash the like button. There's 675 of you in it and 181 likes. Let's smash that up. And let's go to big up to Rob, who's been a member for 14 months. Hope you're well, my man. Said one legend has left, but it's okay. We still have another at the club. Daniel Levy. Rob, you wind up. Big up Savva in the chat. Legends. Big up to you, Rob. Appreciate the comment. And thank you for being a member. Really appreciate that. Gerald Goldsmith. Big up to you, my man. I said, I'm off to Tesco's. See if I can pick up a cheap striker. Got to be better than what we've got. Well, many a word is said in jest, right? And unfortunately, it is very much, I don't think we've necessarily gone cheap. Like when you look at Solanke and Richarlison, if I said to you 110 million for those two, think what you could have got in this transfer market for 110 million. That's what I mean. Now add up the wingers I just gave you. That was another 80 million. Do you know what I mean? Now Brennan Johnson at 50 million. Gray at 40 million. We're now talking about nearly 350 million pounds worth of footballers. And I don't want any of them in R11. It's madness. Big up to you, Gerald. Thank you very much. Finn McMullen said, morning, Sav, realistic transfers for me. Okay. Pedro Gonçalves, love him. Sudakov, love him. Moise Kean, I'm not so keen. Sudakov, one can dream for Eze, if not Lookman, Mikatadze, Turek, Mitchell, Robinson. Look, I think other than Moise Kean, yes, I'd like them all. Lookman very much feels like he's got Inter Milan in his sights. Very much looks like he's got Inter Milan in his sights. But Eze, I mean, it's the name that won't disappear, right? It is the name that won't disappear. Listen, I think it would be sensational. If Tottenham could end this transfer window by signing an Eze, I think it solves a lot of problems. I think it gives us a lot of creativity, assists and goals, which are much needed. Can I see it happening? I can't. However, Do I want to be massively wrong? Absolutely. I like when I have these conversations with people, like when I've said, I can't see Eze coming, doesn't mean I don't want Eze. And again, it comes down to that thing, isn't it? People don't listen, but hey, it is what it is. We back it when we sign Tel because we're supporters. Yes, but that doesn't mean you have to just blindly say a player's good enough if they're not. That's the difference, James. And again, when people like you try and be super fans, it's too much, right? There's a difference between supporting players and wanting better for the football club. There's a huge difference. And this is the difference between a winning mentality and this mentality. This is the difference. Jimmy Crash said, Odegaard selling Gray over 100 million, unproven. Could be established gun like Eze. You can build a team. And again, this is where you're always going to have the opinions. For me, if I said to you, none of those first three play for us, but Eze does, and you've got 50 million left over, right? You're going to take it, aren't you? And for me, it's that we always do the first option. It's that we always do the first option, Jimmy. Savva, have you seen the new Gary? Yeah, I've seen it. We're going to talk about it next. It's going to be the next topic. Is the overlap. It's going to be the next topic. We'll come to that in a minute. Agreed. Ash completely agreed. And the ambition, listen, let's be fair. The ambition from this lad is amazing. If the ambition is how much money can I make? But the ambition as a footballer, listen, he'll go there. I reckon he'll be there for a year and then he'll come back to Europe. So we'll see. But hey, oh no, this boy can play. No, this Rich, that you can't watch 5 minutes. This boy can play. He's a very, very good footballer. Come on. He's a very good footballer. Better than anything we've got. He's a good player. How much would you need to spend? Well, Morgan Rogers is in the middle of signing a new 5-year contract. So not gettable. I keep seeing this man's name ranted about. I can't see it, my man. Can't see it. I think it would take ridiculous money. Big up to my man, Gary, who said out there in New York, so the transfer team must be working overtime now. Zero reason for us to finish this window without 2 to 3 more. Gary, I'll be honest, I want 3 as a minimum now. I want 3. I'm so underwhelmed over the last 2-3 years with the forwards and the wingers that we've put together. Really underwhelmed between Levy, Lang, Paratici, Ange. What they've put together in the last 2 years by the way of forward players is pretty substandard, right? Completely agree with you, my man. Carl Boyd, big up to you, Carl. So Savva genuinely got a good coach on our hands here. Past few games, we've seen a different approach to different teams. I'm liking this thought so far. Absolutely. Listen, we have got a coach, but as anything, I always say he's a coach, not a magician. I think he'll make us solid. He'll make us hard to beat. He'll give us a pattern of play, but you've got to have match winners. You've got to have some goal scorers. You've got to have some creators. You've got to have that little bit of salt that's sprinkled over it. So we'll see. Solanke is the new Soldado. I mean, Soldado scored hundreds of goals in Europe, didn't he? We bought him, played him completely out of position, but hey, each to their own. Where are we? I agree, Kate, but the problem is you say that and then you get lots of super fans like that James guy who just want to say everyone's amazing. So what do? If you ask for better, you're mocked. You know, then when Daniel Levy doesn't buy better players, he's mocked. I mock Daniel Levy for not buying better players because I want better players. Fortunately, you've got fans like James that don't want better. They want the average player. That's fine, but don't want more then. Don't want more from your club if you're happy with average signings. AFC has said you should be in for Eze just to drive the price up for us. Listen, if we're going to be in for Eze, I want it to be because Eze wants to come to Tottenham. As I've said, we're not going to bid for a player unless he's given us some sort of assurances that he's interested. I think Dusan Vlahovic is miles better than what we've got up front. Is a deal there to be done? I don't know. I do think he will move in the end of the window. I do think he'll move in this window. I don't know where he'll go, but maybe it's got Saudi. J Love, stop, please. Listen, I'm going to ask nicely. You've put this in about 400 times in the last week, right? When you're saying I'm wrong about what? Right? You keep saying that Eze has signed. I can't be wrong about something that hasn't happened, right? I can't be wrong about something that no one other than you in football has said. When you're saying, mark my words, he has joined Spurs, well, he hasn't yet, has he? So I can't be wrong yet. Just, if it's announced this week, absolutely amazing. Brilliant. But as of yet, J-Love, he's not been announced, has he? Shane, I agree. I'd really like to get Harvey Elliott. I think he's a really good footballer. Again, this is the thing, a lot of our fans downplay players like that whilst bigging up players like Tellen Odeber. It truly, truly baffles me. Big up to Jack. Good morning to you. Good morning. Matoma, definitely someone I would take. You wouldn't want Eze. Can't take that seriously, my man. Can't take that seriously. Milo, no, he's gone to Saudi, mate. He's gone to Saudi. He's gone to Saudi this morning. Here we go with Al Halal. So Al Ali. Al Ali, he's gone to. That deal done very, very quickly. Shame, really. I think that's a real shame for me. It's a real shame. Hey, what can you do? What can you do? If they want to go to Saudi, they want to go to Saudi. By the way, for everyone in here, there's 750 in here. Big up to each and every one of you. Only 222 likes. Guys, this is my business. Come on, do me a favor. Smash that like button for us. Let's get that to 350, 400 ASAP. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, as we close in on 21,000 subscribers. Big up to each and every one of you. Jeremy that said more dithering about from Levy and more quality football players are leaving the market on a daily basis. Just embarrassing business by Levy and company. Look, listen, I don't disagree in theory. I don't. We've got to act. Now, we're about to see what Daniel Levy talks about in the interview with Gary Neville, what he talks about in the interview with Vinay. Is that all talk, or is Daniel Levy serious? Are we going to back Thomas Frank to the best of our capability, which I believe was the terms? But he said we're going to back him to the best of our ability. All right, cool. Let's see it. Let's see it, Daniel. You've got 28 days. You've got 28 days. Ben, the mod father. Good evening. Good evening. Good morning, sir. How are you? Said need Robinson, Grealish, and a striker who score goals. Not this working hard nonsense. Yeah, listen, we've got the strikers that work hard. We've got the strikers that fans... I'm with you, Ben. When the first thing said about a striker is he works hard, that tells me that there's a lot of deficiencies, right? If that's the first attribute, he works hard, he presses, he's battling, then that tells me he's not a goal scorer. I think we need a goal scorer. I think we need someone who wants to shoot more than anything. Listen, I don't think he's ruined his career. Look, as I said, go there for a year, pick up your 500-600 grand a week, come back to Europe while you still can. But I do think it's a shame when they go that early. Big up Luke. So for some reason, when I tried to join for a membership, YouTube won't accept my card. It's my normal Visa debit. Dude, I don't know what to say. It's okay. It's no problem. I don't know what to say. That's a YouTube issue. You're going to have to pick up with them. It is what it is. Ollie Watkins, Louis. Yeah, I can't see Spurs. I mean, what's it going to be? 60, 65 million for Ollie Watkins at that age? Can't see it. I'd love it. I would love Ollie Watkins up front for Spurs. I think he'll get 20, 25 playing for Spurs. I do. I think he'd score a bundle playing up front for Tottenham Hotspur, especially if you then get an Eze plus a Kudus and you get Kulu back. And yeah, I do. I really do. I'll try to get as many comments as possible. You know me. I always will. Paratici. I mean, what's happened to Paratici? Where is the Don? Where is the Don? Is he even at the club? I don't know. I genuinely don't know anymore. Where is the Don? guys, you guys are being so tight on the likes. Honestly, 1/3 of you have smashed that button. It's really important to me as a YouTuber that you smash that button, please, when you enter the building. Thank you very much. Personally, love the J Love input. It's Eze's mum, and she's a massive Savva fan. I believe in you. Listen, I would love what J Love says to be correct. I think we all would. I think we'd all love Eze to assign. But when people come in and say things like, it's done, all right, come on and tell me how you know it's done. Oh, I can't tell you. How's it done? Because I've not seen one reputable journalist say that it's done. And then this guy is convinced it's done. Maybe it gets done, but not been done yet. You never know. You never know, do you? Don't forget to thank Levy for the underwhelming signing, Savva. Look, I think what was interesting in the overlap there where he says, you know, he's not involved in the signings, that's what the recruitment team are there for. And I sat there and I thought, oh, my man Lubo's going to have something to say about that. Listen, the overlap, let's move to it. An interesting watch. Nothing groundbreaking. I don't know if anyone was expecting anything groundbreaking. I thought Daniel Levy did come across really well. Almost quite shy. Definitely somebody I think that wants to work in the background. Definitely not somebody that I think wants to be interviewed and on camera. Was I hoping to get more out of the interview? No, I don't really know what I was hoping. As a Spurs fan, as a football fan, I don't really know what I was hoping. A lot of talk about PSR, about the way football is structured now, who needs to step in. Is it the FA? Do we need a governing body? Multi-club ownership? But nothing there where I thought I found out loads, you know? Nothing there where I found out anything I didn't know. Some good bit in there about, listen, what does he want Spurs to do? Okay, he wants Spurs to be winners. But he also wants to do it sustainably. He wants to do it the right way, so to speak. There was a lot in there about Thomas Frank and Ange. Sorry, it wasn't a lot. Thomas Frank and Ange as to why one went. And as I said, lots of people who said it wasn't Daniel Levy's wording as to why he went. And Daniel Levy's kind of nipped that in the bud in that interview, hasn't he? But I don't really know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me get to some of your comments on this because that's more important than my comments. What are your feelings on that this morning? What are your feelings for anyone that's watched it? What did you think? I do think it's very easy. I think it's very easy to see anything with Levy and just bash him. I don't feel either way about it, if I'm honest. I don't feel like great interview or shit interview. I don't feel that I learned tons about the club. I don't feel that I learned anything different about Ange or Frank, why they left and why they joined. You know, he made it very clear that you can't finish in 17th for 22 defeats. That shouldn't be a shock to any Spurs fan. If that is a shock to any Spurs fan, then what rock have you been living under? I don't really know. A big up to my man, Mr. Knightsbridge. Said, morning, Savva. There was one line Levy said in that interview, and it was along the lines of, we can still beat the bigger teams without spending big. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, look, throughout the years, there have been many times we've beaten Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, United in games. There's a difference, though, isn't there, between beating them in games and beating them to the top titles. What did he mean? Who knows? And listen, I won't go mad about this interview this morning. I'm sure I'll leave that to other people that will probably go a bit mad about it. Listen, I think we all knew that the stadium was impressive. We all knew all the stuff that Daniel Levy said. An interesting one. I thought, listen, I've seen a lot of people say, could Gary Neville have asked harder hitting questions? Well, maybe he did. Maybe it was edited out. Maybe Daniel Levy signed off that he has to have final say on what gets aired. Daniel Levy talks about how much money the club has spent on players, and he's right. We spent a lot. Maybe Neville could have probed a bit more about that as to, yeah, you spent a lot of money on players, but wages, I don't know. I'm going to just take a neutral position on this. It was a decent watch. And in a minute, I'm sure I'll get some comments. Here we go. My man, Rodney Trotter, Lord Rodney Trotter, said, can't argue with anything he said, to be honest, but I have one question. Who hires the recruitment team? Yeah, of course. And I think, I think Daniel Levy said that, didn't he? He did say, ultimately, the buck stops with him, is what he said. Fair play to him for saying that. He didn't shirk that responsibility. Look, I think now is that time where we can be angry with Levy, or we can make some demands from Daniel Levy. Sorry, but 1 second. My front door has just gone. 1 second. Hello, mate. Hi, mate. Yeah, so I'm just in a meeting. Could you leave it by the front door, please? Thank you very much. Appreciated. Bye-bye. There we go. We're in a meeting. You just seen me tell a little white lie, but not really. I am working, right? Hang on. Oh, I think as the dog has jumped out to go to the front door. Hang on. Where's the light? There it is. Can you see the light? Stewie, why can't I find it? There we go. Sorry, Stanley and Stewie sleep under the desk when I stream. And as Stanley's leaped over Stewie, he's landed on I've got one of those lights where it's the floor button. And he's jumped on that. Anyway, sorry about that. How very rude. How very, very rude of Amazon delivering something to my door. But thank you, Amazon, at the same time. And I can guarantee you it's nothing I've ordered at all. It's going to be something for the wife that I bet you tomorrow I'm walking down to the post office to take back because it doesn't fit or it's the wrong color, something. People will know my pain. Yeah, so back to the Daniel Levy piece. Listen, we can get angry at him. We can be upset. Or we can ask him, show us. Show us, right? That's where I am this summer. Show us. Show us, Daniel. Yes, you frustrate me, but show us. I don't think it's going to take a lot for Daniel Levy to get people on side. And that's the shame of it. That's the shame of what he does is 2 or 3 good signings now, between now and the 1st of September. And people quieten down. People lose that rhetoric that it's all on Levy and he's terrible. Go and bring in a good number 10, a striker and a left winger that all go into that first team. And suddenly things change, don't they? It's, will he do it? This has always been the question. Will he do it? Now, will he do it? Yeah, absolutely, Gaza. Yeah, he's gone. But listen, I'm interested to see what you guys are saying. Levy has spent big, but Daryl, he has spent big. The issue isn't that he doesn't spend. This fallacy that he doesn't spend isn't true. It's that we spend badly. That's the problem. We spend badly. We buy a lot of players rather than quality players. So if you look at Man United, for example, Man United this window, the 2 players they've gone and got this window, because I know Leon, Diego Leon or Pedro Leon, can't remember his name, was already agreed to sign. The 2 players they've gone and got go boom, boom, straight into the first team. 65 million on Cunha, 65 million on Mbuemo, and straight into that Man United 11 to make them look stronger. That's exactly what Man United have done. So for me, that's what I think Spurs need to do more often. We've done that now with Kudus. We've done that with PALHINHA, and I think we need another 3. I do. Let me know how many you think we need, people. For me, I think it's 3. But listen, whichever way you want to say it, and again, this is the problem. This is whichever way you want to word it, we have spent money. We absolutely have spent money. And of course, Phil, this is the point. Anyone who's messaged me about this morning, I've responded with the same thing. And this is my answer. He was never going to say too much. There's only so much he can say. James, I don't think you have, because you give me stick. You give me stick. You say we back Tell because we support him. Nobody's calling him a world beater. Are Tell and should Odegaard and Tell be in the first 11 at Tottenham? That's all I've said. Should Odegaard and Tell be in the first 11 at Tottenham? Answer me that. It's a simple yes or no. Because when you're saying Tell's done nothing wrong, he's dreadful. Sorry, he's poor. He's a very poor footballer that should be nowhere near this football club. Savva got a Tell shirt delivered. I could tell you he didn't. Big up to Tyrell Gunner. How you doing, my man? Hope you're well. Big up to you. Big up to Aaron Lawrence. How you doing? Said, honestly, I'm getting bored of hearing about Eze. Just get someone good for left wing. Look, I think the problem is until we sign players and the window shuts, you're going to hear a lot about Eze because he's at a club that in theory we should be able to go to and take. By the way, at the moment, they're just showing Chelsea's squad depth on the screen. And it is, I mean, Neto and Esteval on the right, Delap, Pedro and Jackson through the middle, Bino, Gittins and Simmons on the left. I mean, there's a lot of players there, and Nkunku as well. Well, it is what it is. Well, this is the question, right, Mafouz? Absolutely. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. And this is where I think some questions could have been harder hitting to Levy. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't, maybe they were edited out. This is where maybe Neville could have said, look, you know, we talk about wanting to win things, but, you know, why haven't we done more? Why haven't we bought better players? You know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's Diego Leon, isn't it? Yeah, it is Diego Leon. Big up to Mr. Tropical Walsh, who said, we've had a few run-ins on the past on Twitter, mate, but you do make me laugh now, and I'm a massive fan. Dude, I can't remember. I haven't been on Twitter for 5 years, man. I haven't been on Twitter for 5 years, and they've been 5 very nice years. I still see people send me posts of people talking about me on there, and I think, Jesus Christ, get a life. But hey, it is what it is. And whoa, I didn't say Tell was amazing. Now he's putting words in people's mouth. Okay, should Tell be at Tottenham Hotspur, or was it a poor signing? For what we need right now, was it a poor signing? Bergvall for captain? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come on, what are we doing here? Come on, Jimmy. Bergvall shouldn't even be a guaranteed starter, let alone captain of the football club. Come on. Let's not do this. AC Milan have made an initial approach to Liverpool for Darwin Núñez. Wow, there we go. So AC Milan in the running for Darwin Núñez. Understand that Borussia Dortmund have reactivated direct talks with Chelsea for Carney Chukwuemeka. That is Fabrizio Romano. Thank you for the 3 people that just subscribed. Yeah, come on. I reckon we can get another 10 more. There's nearly 800 of you in here. I reckon we get another 10 more. The link is pinned on people. Let me bring on Chris B. Everyone likes Chris B. He always gets good comments after he's been on the show. I think people would rather he hosted my show than me. Sometimes I feel a bit jealous. Here he is.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I woke up to the first message I saw was you this morning.
Be careful how you phrase that.
Yeah. It gives a whole new meaning to morning glory. Pause. I've learned the word pause is very important now when you're on YouTube and being clipped up. Chris, hello. Happy Monday to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I just needed to say that to give myself a bit of water. We're currently on the subject of the overlap, of Gary Neville getting a little bit wet at the knees of being inside Harry Kane's box. Pause. What did you make of it in general, and what were you expecting from it?
It was very polished on the part of Levy. There was nothing that blew me away, nothing controversial in there. It was very easy viewing, and he played it very safe. So you will have those Levy lovers who worship the ground he walks on and telling us how lucky we are to have such a good businessman. And then there will be the cynics and the honest amongst us who say, but we're missing the critical questions and we're missing the bigger picture about how we go push on as a football club to realise your aspirations of winning things. And to do that, you need to pay big salaries and big transfer fees.
So in essence, we didn't really learn anything we didn't know. But would you say, I think he came across, I thought he came across well. I thought he, I always get the vision that he's an angry little man, but he seemed very calm and collected. And I thought he, you know, Gary Neville tried to get him to say a few things about other clubs. Gary Neville tried to get him to say things about Tottenham's transfers, but I thought he handled it well. Is that fair?
Yeah, he's an exceptionally clever man. He's a CEO of a multi-billion-pound commodity business, and he's got commercial links all around the world. So he's going to be adept to sitting in the boardrooms. He's going to be adept with speaking with the financial institution and financial world. So he should be able to carry himself very well in a conversation with Gary Neville.
What's the standout part from it for you? Because there was sections about PSR, there was sections about how Spurs have built without anyone pumping hundreds of millions in, which I would have loved to have seen a follow-up, by the way, from Neville asking, why haven't Enoch pumped hundreds of millions in? And then there was a bit at the end about Ange out, Frank in. Any particular bits that got you?
The floor they were walking on, that he had to remind him it was the old White Hart Lane.
The crust cement.
The cost of the stadium, the little giggle when Neville said about being on the Old Trafford committee, and they were looking for 100,000 stadium at a cost of 2 billion, and you saw Levy smirk, thinking prices have increased, there's wars going on around the world, good luck, but that'll never happen. But as a whole, it was easy listening, wasn't it? There weren't many takeaways from my perspective.
Yeah, it was. I was almost sitting there watching, going, "Is there going to be a nugget at any point?" As a YouTuber, I'm thinking, "Is there going to be a nugget?" Because what people will do, they will take individual lines from that to hold against him, and I get it. Neville said to him, "Look, hey, a couple of months ago, you mentioned League and Champions League. Why have you never come out and said that before?" To which Levy said, "Well, we've always had that ambition, but the taste of Europa League has left us wanting more." And I guess that's going to be the takeaway from me, Chris, that cool, it's easy to say that. It's easy to say you want more, but whilst in the midst of a transfer window, you've got to show it, haven't you? You've got to, that evidence has got to be backed up with the transfers.
We can all talk the talk, but real clubs walk the walk, don't they? Look at how Chelsea equip themselves in the transfer window, and look how Man City do it. No messing around, bosh, they get the deals done and the players there within 48, 72 hours of the interest becoming known by the public.
Yeah. James, I'll come back to this later, mate. Anyone who thinks Tell or Odegaard are good enough for the first 11, sorry, mate, you've got what you deserve.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. Yeah, Chris, I mean, look, if we look, let's move it to what he was talking about at the end. Lots of people surmised as to why Ange was sacked. A lot of people very angry, saying, well, hang on, he won you your first trophy. Hasn't Daniel Levy just shut all of that down with his answer that with Tottenham, we can't finish 17th and we can't lose 22 games? So for all these people saying that, oh, Daniel Levy and him had a chat in January and said, oh, just concentrate on the Europa League, Daniel Levy's kind of gone, ! Nah, hasn't he?
But the fan base are blind to two further things. There was all this suggestion that all these players would be looking for the exit door. The only one to have gone is Son, and that was of his own choice. And there were all these people telling us, oh, Postecoglou will be in a job before you know it. He's going to have offers from across the globe. What's he doing at present?
Absolutely. I just feel that we've had this conversation for all season. People going, this, you know, he'll be kept if he wins this. He has to do this. But listen, I think it was very telling them what he said about Frank in terms of his ability to not only develop young players, but also the older players that are there. Almost like a little parting shot of the previous manager that no one really did develop, that we've maybe wasted a couple of years of players' development at Spurs.
Yeah, 100%. You name a player that progressed, none. But how many went back? Plenty.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, I've got bad feedback coming from somewhere, Chris. Just so you know, I've got a little bit of feedback coming. Yeah, listen. Let's move to the let's move to Tottenham and the transfer window. I mean, yesterday there isn't really a lot to talk about from the game. If I'm honest, I felt like that game second half was all about Son, was all about a million substitutions, then about the Maddison injury. In your mind, the Maddison injury, does that change the trajectory of the transfer window, and how big a blow is that to Tottenham Hotspur?
Well, you'll notice the foot header at the bottom of my window should give the clue. But yeah, it was a massive injury. It wasn't in a phase of play. It looks a nasty one. Seen leaving the stadium on crutches. They're already talking about potential ACL rupture. That could be 12 months out of the game. Without Maddison and without Coglou, where is the creativity currently in that squad stroke team? So automatically now, we need to be going out as a matter of point and signing that creative player who can play through the middle or potentially on the left. And I texted you privately last night saying, Jack Grealish out there, 29 years of age, 3 Premiership titles to his name, a Champions League winner, has been told by Pep that you're not in my plans. There's a World Cup next year. He's an Englishman. He knows the league. We should be pressing every button and pushing every door to try and get that guy through to take that role for us.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's absolutely spot on. Listen, I've said Jack Grealish a lot, and people seem to be very much against the idea. But I've said this for a long time now, Chris, and I don't know if you agree with me. The biggest reason I want Jack Grealish more than anything, it's not goals, it's not assists. It's that I am so fed up of watching Tottenham go forward and then the ball bouncing back immediately because none of these players up top, Solanke, Richarlison, Tell, Odegaard, Son, none of them other than Kudus have the ability to hold on to the ball. They all get the ball, direct running. As soon as they lose it, we're under pressure. Grealish doesn't do that, does he? Grealish puts his foot on it. He's strong, drives to the byline and allows defenders to come over and try and get it off him. That's why I want him, mate. I want him to be able to hold up and bring others in.
Yeah, 100%. We've not got that, and who's going to provide it for us?
I don't get it, and this is why when I keep seeing Odegaard, Tell, I see something in them. People say I see something in them.
Well,
I'll be honest.
Tell broke from the halfway line yesterday, and it was the Ronnie Rosenthal's in him, and you just knew that he wasn't going to score, and he's still. I do not know why we invested that money in him. Is in my opinion, there's better out there, and it feels like a speculative transfer.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I think from my point of view, I look at Tell and Odegaard, and I don't like it when fans just say back them. I mean, I feel it's quite childish. Like, it's not about backing them; it's about buy better players. Listen, I'm never gonna boo a player. I'm never gonna say anything personal about Tell or Odegaard. They're just simply not good enough for what we need right now. And I do feel that there's a lot of copium within the fan base, Chris, that, for example, I watched Odegaard against Arsenal. I think there was one good run he did and he hit the post.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game, I'm watching going, you don't do anything. And people go, oh, I don't know. You know, he got on the ball. Did he? I see him give it away a lot. I see him run into fullbacks a lot. I see his fullback take it off him like it's candy. What are these people seeing that I'm not, Chris? Am I just blind?
Yeah. No, not at all. I share those same views with you. And then there's a name that keeps on getting punted out there, and it seemingly is available for decent money. Is that Enzo Milo from Stuttgart?
He's just gone to Al Ali.
Has it gone through?
He's gone through this morning.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone through. Yeah. Another one.
But again, there was a potential of an affordable transfer that could have been done quite easily. But again, slow to that party.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fascinating to see who do we get. You know, like we could talk about names all day long. People talk about Fofana and Mikatadze and Matoma and Harvey Elliott and Eze and Calamundo and this player and that player. But at the moment, nothing we've really done this window has been played out in public. You know, nothing. And that's good, but also a little bit of a worry for me that I feel like we're all guessing in the dark, aren't we? We're moving in the darkness, Chris. The Spurs motto.
Yeah, it's the first we're hearing about things is often when they've been announced, and the suggestion of all these ITKs is a load of rubbish. And until Ornstein says it's going to happen, I don't believe anybody else.
By the way, this is completely not true. This is completely not true that he's lazy and doesn't track back. That is absolutely nonsense. One of the key things Pep Guardiola said about him was his work rate when he's out on the left-hand side. We can't just make things up. And this guy earlier on has said Grealish is on the floor for 80 minutes of the game. Look how critical we are of top footballers, Chris, whilst looking at the squad we've got. I'm baffled.
That player that's won 3 Premiership titles.
Yeah, that player who was essential to winning a treble for Man City. That player who went for £100 million. That player who can play left wing or in the number 10. Honestly, sometimes I really do look at this fan base, Chris, and go, I don't think some people want us to get better.
No.
You know what will happen? If we signed a Grealish, he'd go out there and after 5 games, we'd have fans going, God, look how much better. Look at the quality compared to what we had. I'm back. Honestly, Chris, sometimes I do think we've got what we deserve. I really, really do.
When we lose Son, there is no replacement. Neither of those options beneath him. If you play Johnson on the left, if you play Odebear on the left, if you play Tell on the left, or if you play Rickarlis on the left, none of them are as good as he was in his prime. And any club with anything about them would go out and make a statement signing to replace the statement that's departing, and not us.
Again, listen, Leighton, please, if you're going to be in my chat, please stop saying silly things. You're now just saying silly things. Yes, you've seen a video of Jack Grealish drunk. I mean, who cares?
What young man hasn't gone out and got pissed up in the past?
Oh, it's ridiculous. By the way, sorry, people go Grealish in London, he'd be on the piss all the time. Have you ever had a night out in Manchester? There is a massive nightlife in Manchester. Trust me, I've had many a good night in Manchester. This makes no sense.
Canal Street.
Huh?
Canal Street, was it?
Canal Street. Oh, I love it. I love Manchester. I don't know why suddenly he'll get pissed more in. Apparently, there's more alcohol in London than there is in Manchester. It just doesn't make sense. Jay Ashraf said, hi, Chris and Savva. Frank is still back in telling Odebear to fill the space left by Son. That's worrying from the coach. How do you know that? That would be my question, Chris. How on earth can Jay Ashraf know that? How do we know he's not gone and said, I want a left winger?
Well,
how do we know?
The suggestion and the whispers were that he's told the board that he needs 2 attacking players, one being a wide left option. So we're all speculating, making stuff up and suggesting we know stuff when it's all been kept very quiet.
Yeah, Jay, I don't get that. I mean, that's like saying, actually, I can't get an example that quick, but I think it's crazy to say, yeah, that's like saying before last week, and PALHINHA, that's like turning around and saying, Frank's happy for Gray to be our number 6. A week later, you've got PALHINHA as your number 6. So I don't think that's very true, my man. I feel like it's really harsh. Big up to Mark. Thank you. See you on the next members show. So saying Grealish is lazy is the same myth as he's a drunk. It's absolute nonsense. Unfortunately, people will see what they want to see. Look, I look at Grealish and say he can play on the 10. He can play on the left. Technically, he's very good. He's a winner. He's good in the dressing room. He's experienced. I'm not seeing the downside to it. I'm not seeing the downside, but apparently a lot of our fan base do not want him. So it is what it is.
Yeah, there's another name that we keep on hearing murmurings about is that Rafael Leao from AC Milan. But do you think there's a slight risk attached to him over Grealish? He's never played in the Premiership. The big clubs are never in for him all the time. You don't hear his name in the headlines being linked with the elite, and you look at his numbers, they're not actually that amazing for AC Milan.
Yeah, look, I think Rafa Leao for me is one of those that when he looks great, he looks amazing.
But doesn't
And
do it
then,
regularly enough.
right. And I think he's very much a showreel footballer. And that's okay. But I think for what, listen, by the way, I wouldn't, if you turn around and said to me, he's starting over Telenoda on our left, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do think there are better options. This is interesting. We'll get El Canuso, I reckon, 22.5 million release clause. This is what Tottenham normally do. If we do this signing, it does go to show that everything Daniel Levy has said is pure nonsense, right? If we go and do this, because technically a good footballer, but again, another young player, 1 year's Premier League experience. I think we need better. I think we've got to let the Xavi Simons thing go. He's like deep in negotiations with Chelsea. I don't know why anyone thinks he's going to pick us over them. I think we need to let that go. Yeah, Sonny was drunk and swearing in London before the Brighton game. Should we slate him? Exactly. I've seen Chris, you would have seen it. 2008, we won the League Cup. I remember Ledley King, didn't he get chucked out of a nightclub or something?
Again, who cares? Yeah.
I don't care.
No.
Young man gets drunk. Oh, shocker. Absolute shocker. We're old men. We get drunk. Do you know what I mean? Absolute shocker. Lloris as well. Look, come on, man. This is crazy. He's not drunk on the pitch. Who cares? Would Grealish get in to Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City sides? No, because it's your channel. Don't make your opinion right. I hate to break it to you, Leighton. We're not Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, or Liverpool. Is that fair, Chris? I mean, Leighton, you saying he doesn't get in, and because it's my channel doesn't make my opinion right. My opinion is 100% right that he's better than anything we've got on the left-hand side at Tottenham by a mile. That's not even an opinion, is it, Chris? Surely that's a fact.
That's not even for debate, is it? And the reason he wouldn't get into the other, the reason he wouldn't get into the other teams is because they've got so much strength and quality in their squads, which we're lacking.
Yeah. Good question. Would Grealish have the motivation? I think what you've got to look at is, I think Jack Grealish would have the chat with Frank that, hey, you're going to be starting week in, week out, and it's a World Cup year. I think we don't downplay that, people. I mean, Chris, how much importance is there on, it's a World Cup year. There's a lot of players for England that are on the periphery that will be saying, hang on, I need to have a good year to force my way into Tuchel's squad.
Oh, 100%. If you've got anything about you and you want to represent your nation, you need to be playing top-level football and you need to be in the eye of the national coach Tuchel. And you do that by being on Match of the Day every Saturday and being playing in the Premiership, as opposed to in Europe, where people aren't really that sighted on what you're doing every week.
No, I absolutely. Listen, I'll move on from Grealish, but for me, it just feels like a bit of a no-brainer. What we do know is this, Chris. I've said I think we need 3 players. I think we need a striker, a left winger, and an attacking midfielder now, with both Kulu and Maddison out. We're starting to see the same conversations from the fans as normal of, why don't we shoehorn this player in there? Why doesn't Donnelly get a chance as our number 10? Why don't we shift Kudus to... I just want to go and buy what we need, right?
Yeah, I disagree. I think we need 4 players. I still think we need a left-sided fullback.
Okay.
And the whole Donnelly thing, the suggestion was that they'd agreed a loan to a championship club before they went off on the tour of Asia. So just because a player's got injured doesn't mean you rethink. If he wasn't good enough to go into the first team at this point and you were saying he needed another 12 months loan experience, that doesn't change in any way. He still needs that experience. It's not a like-for-like replacement. It's another punt of a youngster that might come good and might not.
No, I completely agree with you. Listen, by the way, I don't disagree with you on the left-back situation. I just think where we are at the moment, the 3 key areas for me have to be the forward areas. Jed Spence, listen, I'm starting to think Jed Spence is a left back, to be honest. The amount of times left back compared to right back. But we've got a lot of defenders now. When you look that you've got You've got Porro, Spence, and Adogi as out-and-out fullbacks. Then you've got Davis who can play fullback. You've got Takai that can play fullback and centre-half. Davis that can play fullback and centre-half. You've got Vuskovic, Dragashin, Danso, Van der Ven, Romero. Now we've got PALHINHA as a DM. I feel like we're well sorted in terms of our defensive rigor now. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like we've got to do some... It's weird. It's backwards to what we've been for 10, 15, 20 years, Chris. We've always gone and had good players going forward, and that's slowly but surely filtered away, hasn't it?
Yeah. But now the key positions are the offensive positions, because in truth, we don't have a decent centre forward at the club, do we? And any success, saying that we want to be competing on four fronts and we've got all these ambitions, well, bring us an ambitious centre forward to fulfil those. Because we all have our opinions on Solanke, but remove Solanke from the mix. What you got to do, put Brennan Johnson through the middle, that won't work. Or you're relying on Richarlison, who's rubbish. Or you're relying on a young 20-year-old kid, Will Lancashire, who could be something, or quite easily may not be anything. So you need to do what the other teams have done and go out and get genuine quality.
Yeah, always use the word poor, Lord Rodney Trotter. Always use the word pause. Very important when you say certain things. Big up to you, my man. Chris said, just my opinion, I'm not a fan of Grealish. I prefer a fast, strong winger taking on and beating fullbacks, creating chances. I agree, Chris, but the problem is if every one of your wingers does that, then the ball is just going to constantly bounce back. This is the problem. We're getting a lot of wingers into this squad who take them, supposedly take their man on and are quick. The ball is bouncing back to Tottenham at a rate of knots. And you saw that yesterday against Newcastle. What Newcastle had was Harvey Barnes, Gordon and Murphy, who were all quite comfortable on the ball. And it didn't bounce back. When Spurs went forward, ping, straight back, Odeber, Tell, Johnson, they can't hold on to it. It just keeps coming back. I get what you're saying. For me, I just think we need... I think Grealish can play the 10 as well, Chris.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Grealish can move into the middle.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just what I would say. Let me do some super chats quickly. Big up to the Two Marks show. Big up. Not sure who this is, whether this is Cookmeister or whether this is Mark Cousins. Big up to you. Thank you very much, lads. And congratulations on just passing the 500 subscriber count, Mark. It's a nice feeling when you hit your milestone. So thank you very much, boys. Much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to these two chats, please do. Big up to my man, Rodney Roberts. He's the only person I allow to shout at me in capital letters all the time. So big up, Savva. That is all. Like people. Big up to you as well, Rodney. My man, Rodney. Thank you very much. James Livingston has said, we've got a young player. Let's call Spurs. Well, it very much feels like that, doesn't it? Somebody says, oh, this kid's got potential. Spurs will give you 30, 35, 40 million for him. I don't mind when they're Bergvals at 10 million. I don't mind when they're Takais at 5 million. When you're starting to spend 40, 45, 35 million on 18-year-olds that we say give them a few years, you have to ask questions. Big up to you. James, you've come in again, very generous with a super sticker. Thank you very much. Maybe we're starting a super sticker train. Who knows? Thank you to all the generous people out there today. Thank you very much. Come in again. Said, bring back Ginola. Yeah, absolutely. Great. It grinds my gears when I hear people in this era talking badly about footballers like that, Chris. Right now, he'd be one of the best players in the Premier League, if not the best player in the Premier League. Like, it's just baffling how little respect this man gets. And people wonder why I put him in my Spurs Premier League 11 above Son. But hey, that's just me. That's just me.
Recall that game against Barnsley in the FA Cup, and that brings you back to the magic of football and what entertainment's all about.
He was the last player who got me off my feet at the regularity.
I think Bale for me, yeah.
Yeah, but Bale did. Bale's, I think Ginola's was more skill and Bale's was more absolute powerhouse in terms of just, but listen, I'm not comparing them as footballers, different players, but Bale, Ginola, I love those players. Someone who gets me off my seat. Big up to you, James. Really appreciate that. Rob Welsh, thank you very much. Said a drunk Grealish would still be better than Tell. listen, look, I almost feel for Tell. I do, because I know that the price isn't his fault, but I've watched him at Bayern. I've watched him for France under 21s. I've watched him for Spurs. As of yet, I don't see what other people are seeing. What I do know will happen, Chris, is the moment he scores his next goal, everyone will go, there you go. He's amazing. I need to see it. I need to see this consistently. I need to see something from him. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we get all too carried away with the slightest bit of positivity, don't we?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. By the way, keep smashing the subscribe button, people. We've had 10 new subscribers today. Surely we can get up to 15. That'd be appreciated. And big up to my man, Paul. I think this is Paul Watkins. Rodney U. Plonker. Big up to you. Has said, what are we doing here? Grealish is class. I'll be honest, Paul. The number of footballers that are mentioned that we turn our noses up at. I see Vlahovic. We turn our nose up at him. Harvey Elliott, we turn our nose up at him. We had fans turning their nose up at Morgan Gibbs-White. We had fans turning their nose up at people like Zabanyi. Last summer, we were turning our nose up at Locatelli. We were turning our nose up at Livramento, Dybala. Honestly, this fan base at times absolutely baffles me. Hey, it is what it is. Good morning to Kate. Good morning. This is definitely Kate. I'll get the daytime kiss from Kate. Very rarely the daytime kiss from Jimbo. Chris, let me ask you, what he's done already. I think we can all see very quickly that he's given us some defensive stability, and that he's put a shape into play. Now, a lot of people won't be happy because we're not scoring loads of goals. I wouldn't expect that without playmakers and strikers, really. But how impressed are you with what he's done already with the organisation at the back?
Oh, we're finally being coached, aren't we? We're a lot defensively more stronger. We are concentrating on winning the second balls. We're not chasing the ball around the pitch like headless chickens. We are more solid in possession, and it looks like we have an idea of what we're doing. And there's genuine coaching. You look at the stuff that you see coming out of the club on the training pitch alongside Justin Cochrane, and you've got people who are going into the fine points of the game. Like most recently, they had auditions for a long throw. Well, a long throw is a dead ball tactic. And in the past, when did you ever see us succeed off a throw-in or a corner in the past under Mange?
No, absolutely. And do you know what as well? Hang on, just quickly. Let me just give you some breaking news. It's not Tottenham related. Before anybody gets excited, we know that Milan have put in a bid for Darwin Núñez, but here's an interesting one. Everton have submitted an official bid for Keenan Dewsbury Hall to join on a permanent deal. I think that's a brilliant little signing for Everton for me.
Yeah,
it's a really good little signing.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd share that, everyone. Let us know your thoughts on that one. Chris, off the back of what you just said, what I like now is when I watch Thomas Frank post-match, he talks about what he liked, what he didn't. He talks about how we need to improve. He's very honest. He's very honest. You know, he says, listen, I really like this aspect of the game. This aspect, well, we need to work on it. And, and I believe him that he's going to work on it. I believe that he's going to go and address those things on the training ground. And for me, that's what I asked for.
100%.
Oh, I'm really happy with that. Let me ask you, PALHINHA. I'm going to say PALHINHA coming into the club. Talk to me.
I think it's a good signing. There's those that are trying to dismiss it based on his age. Well, we signed Scott Parker at 30 years of age from West Ham, and he was a brilliant addition. Yeah. But we've also got a man of men in midfield. We've got a destroyer, 6'3" tall. He's going to be physical. We've not had that for years. We've lacked anybody, once it gets a bit feisty, who can stand up and hold their own. So all he needs to do is to be that bone-crunching tackler in the middle of the park, sit in front of the back four and protect them. The offensive players in front of him could do all the flair and technical stuff. But we've complained about signing embryos, signing prepubescent children and lacking men. Well, we've finally signed one. Yes, it didn't work out for him at Bayern Munich, but that's partly down to a bad injury and partly down to the fact that Vincent Kompany played a formation where that deep-lying defensive central midfielder really didn't feature that heavily. So I think there's more positives than negatives, and I really look forward to seeing him in that side.
Yeah, me too. I think for me, what this does is it just caps off what we've already seen from Frank. Stability at the back, first and foremost. That's how you build winning teams, be hard to beat. And now he's added an extra layer of protection in front with PALHINHA. And PALHINHA's interview yesterday, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it.
No, not seen it yet.
I love it. I love it. He turns around and says, "This is the type of player I am. I win the ball, I defend, and then I give it to others who do bigger things."
Yeah, that's what I want him to do. Yeah.
And that's why when as fans, people are sitting there analysing, yeah, but his ball carrying and his crossfield passing, I don't care. That's not his job. You know, I'm not asking my attacking midfielder to be a DM. So why am I doing it the other way around?
Get me in a Harvey Elliott or a McAtee who can sit in the middle of the park and distribute the ball. He does all the dirty work in front of them.
Can I ask you about Tony, you know it, mate. You know it. The moment Tell scores a goal, it might hit his backside and fly in, and it will be, "Oh, you were wrong." The amount of people yesterday, because Archie Gray had a decent game yesterday. The amount of people, "You're wrong. You're wrong about what? What professional footballer has a good game in a preseason friendly? Shock horror. Somebody stop the back pages. It's what are we doing here?" Chris, I want to ask you about a player that we're linked with quite a lot. Another one that divides the fan base. I want to ask you about Harvey Elliott. I'll put my heart on the sleeve. I like him. I think he's everything we need. I think he's incisive. He's got that bit of fight, that good bit of nasty about him. He's a winner. He's got loads of experience for a 22-year-old. Captain the under-21s to winning the trophy player of the tournament. Can play from the right, in the 8, in the 10. I don't see the downside to it. A lot of people, for me, don't seem to want him. Where are you at with it?
I'd take him every day of the week. As I said, he offers something that we haven't got in the side with the absence of Maddison and Kulusevski. We haven't got any creativity. He's English. He knows the league. He's got something to prove. I think there's more positives than negatives, but you have all these people coming up with, "Oh, he's not good enough." Based on what? And why are we trying to distance ourselves from players? Maybe the players want to distance themselves from us. We finished 17th last season, so we are not an attractive proposition to all these big-name players across Europe and the world. But we're very quick to try and dismiss people before they've even arrived at the club.
No, absolutely. So, by the way, I can't let this comment slide. Savva, 2 Vs. It's really simple, 2 Vs. You turn your nose up against Saar. We have got receipts. I mean, first of all, how old are you talking about receipts? Second of all, what do you mean? Papa Saar's been at this football club for 4 seasons, right? Now we're seeing him have a good pre-season and suddenly he's a world beater. Chris, this is what I mean. You know, when, like, me and you talk away from YouTube, obviously, friends outside of YouTube. When I look at 2025 and what has happened to the human race, I despair. Papa Saar, for me, I'm looking and going, in 4 years, I've not seen anything where I go, yeah, top player. Now, he scored a couple of goals in pre-season and had a really good game against United, Arsenal. And suddenly, we've got receipts, you turn your nose up. Chris, 4 years. 4 years. What are we doing here? This is mental.
Well, for years we've spoken. I was never quite sure what we had other than an athlete. We had somebody who was fit, who could run around the park, but never got whether he was a defensive player, if he was a creative player. And the game last week against Arsenal, that goal's disallowed in the Premiership 9 out of 10 times. But it's a friendly, so it wasn't. But people get carried away and people get excited based on what? A pre-season friendly. Show me him doing that in the league week in, week out, and he'll get some acknowledgement and some congratulations. But until then, a friendly doesn't mean much at all.
I just think, listen, I look at Papa Saar and I still look and say, okay, when everyone's fit, he doesn't make my 11. That's not saying he can't be developed by Frank. Listen, a lot of this, you have to understand, a lot of this is, I do feel sorry for players because I think we've had a terrible manager for 2 years that hasn't coached them.
Yep.
But he's been here 4 years. Now is the time. If he's going to make it as a proper midfielder that plays for a decade or so at Spurs, now he needs to make a position his own. I still look and say Bentoncourt and now PALHINHA are in front of him. I then put him into the next bracket with Bentoncourt. And by the way, Thomas Frank said this last night in an interview. Thomas Frank said this. He said, Pape Sarr, I really like about him. I've got to coach him. But he said he's above Gray in the pecking order at the moment. All right. So when people like Leighton are going, you turn your nose up at Sarr, what, 4 years after we bought him, you're going to bring that up? 4 years. He hasn't even broken into our first team, mate. Honestly, Chris, the world worries me. I'm scared. I'm scared of 2025. Just saying.
Yeah, well, we'll hear these same old arguments every day for the rest of the year, won't we?
No, we will. It's like yesterday. I thought Archie Gray played well. Don't get me wrong. People are losing their mind. I thought he played well. Professional footballer. He did what I wanted the central midfielder to do. He won the ball. He drove forward and he gave it. That gets turned into a million videos of Archie Gray phenomenon. Archie Gray reborn. And you're like, what? Off of a friendly? Like, I genuinely don't know what we're doing here.
No, agreed.
Louis said, go back to the Harvey Elliott boys. Said Harvey Elliott could do a Cole Palmer off the back of the under-21s, underappreciate the current club, get him in and let him cook. Well, this is the thing. At Liverpool, he's got a lot of bodies to step over, Chris. I think at Spurs he starts. Do you think he starts for us?
Yeah, 100%. Those options in front of him with the strengthening Liverpool have undergone over the summer make it almost impossible for him to command first-team football. Our squad's weaker and lacks the same quality. So you'd think with the creative forces currently injured that he'd walk into that starting 11.
Yeah, I don't get it. But again, a lot of people don't want him. But those same people will tell me that Jamie Donnelly should be playing for Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Like we really do. I find us a funny fan base. Jimmy said Bayern got rid of Tell for a reason. He has fancy footwork but lacks penetration vision. I'll be honest. Does he have fancy footwork? I've not seen it.
No.
I've not seen him constantly bamboozle his fullback. Is he a winger or a striker?
I don't think he's supposed to be a centre forward, I think, but with the ability to play out wide. I think he scored about 12 league goals for Bayern during his time there. And what did he score? 2 for us all season on loan last year. But when you put him out wide, he looks very awkward. But then again, when you put him through the middle, he looks even awkwarder. So playing where you want, the outcome will still be the same.
Yeah. He's been here for 3 seasons, not 4. Well, we bought him for Mahfouz. Don't be an arse. We bought him 4 years ago.
Season, wasn't he? Yeah.
Sure. Mahfouz. Okay, my point stands. I mean, God, let's not be pedantic. And yes, I agree with you. I do think Sarr will develop a lot under Frank. But my point is, we have to stop doing this. Last summer, we had loads of young players who had great pre-seasons, and everyone said, oh, watch them this year. They all went out on loan. The year before, was it the year before or last year when Ndombele had a great pre-season? Do you remember? And everyone went, oh, watch him. Didn't get in the team. Spurs signed Pape Sarr 4 years ago. He's been in the first team for 3 years, in and around the first team, still not made a position his own. I don't know what position he is. I don't know. Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he what is he? Because he's not a passer of the ball. He's more of a get your foot in and press. But we're gonna go overboard like we normally do off pre-season. So,
what about James McAtee, Savva? Yes or no?
I like McAtee. I think he needs another year first.
Yeah.
I like McAtee from what I've seen in his cameos at City. I think he needs a few more years. That's why I like Elliott. Elliott's got like 225 career games under his belt. So, you know, yeah. Pape Sarr is a great squad player, only 22 years old. Spurs need to stick with him. Sure, I've not said sell him. I think, J-Love, what I'm saying is that Papa Matasar has been here a long time. We'll see. Listen, when the big games come around, the big Premier League games, the Champions League games come, let's see if he starts. For me, I don't think he will. I don't think he's better than Bentancur, and I don't think he's not better than PALHINHA. So let's see. Savva, look at Sean's thumbnail with Rodrigo. I don't even need to look at it to know what it is. Chris, look, I don't want to go forever today, but it's an interesting one. New manager, new coaching staff, exciting with PALHINHA, exciting with Kudus, but still feels like we're on that kind of fine line between it being a great year or not. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Unless we get those quality additions over the line until we give the manager what he needs, we're almost asking him to work miracles with a rehash of the previous squad, with the exception of 2 additions that we brought in. So we can't underestimate how key the next couple of weeks are, where hopefully we'll get in those 4 signings, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was 2, and that's what we have to make do with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's, I mean, let's be fair. Daniel Levy, Lang, Vinay, whoever. A couple of good players in now could really change this season. And somebody's made a good point from a super chat here, and this is why we need players. It's not sure where all the goals are going to come from. And absolutely, Chris, that's got to be the biggest worry. Son had to go, we know that.
Yeah.
But we've got to replace the goals. Maddison, goals and assists.
Yeah.
Lulu, not as many goals and assists, but still go. 3 players that have come out of the squad from last year.
And Slanky's injured before the season's already kicked off.
So where do the goals come from?
Yeah. And this is the worry, isn't it?
Spurs, Andrew, I'm talking about, I can't even do this. I'm talking about, is he the first name on a team sheet? Is Papasar the first name on a team sheet? No. I genuinely don't think he is at the moment. Could he be? Yes, sure. Yeah. Could he? Look, Sean Butler has done a video saying but no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Let me have a look. If Sean's done that, I'm going to cuss the shit out of him tonight. Has he? Tottenham 87 million bid offer. He has, isn't he? He has. He's shameless, the boy. He's shameless. Fair play to him. I can't do it, but fair play to him. Big up on the super chat. Thank you very much, Alan Shug Knight. Really appreciate that. This is my biggest issue, Alan. We need to bring in 3 players. As I said, we need an attacking midfielder that creates and scores, a left winger that creates as a minimum, and a striker that scores. And suddenly, you've revamped your forward line. You've got Kudus, a good striker, a good left winger, and an attacking midfielder. Right now, we go in with Odebers and Tells and Johnsons and Solankis and Richies. I'm not hoping for the top 7. I'm really not. Big up to you. Thank you to NSG. Really appreciate that. So NSG 1 billion yen. Big up to you. Is that Alf? Is that Alf the alien thing? It is Alf, isn't it? Yeah. I think a lot of fans are hedging their bets on Frank developing all our young players at once, and they all turn into worldies in 1 month. And Ennis, this is the childish argument I'm seeing, mate, not from you. This is the childish argument I'm seeing from people who keep saying, yeah, but you wanted a coach. Look, coaches need time. You can't make players amazing in 1 month. You can make them better structurally, better in a system, tactically, but this takes time to improve players, doesn't it, Chris? Like, he is right. People are going to expect this guy to turn in all of these players in 1 month.
That's what the expectation is, yeah.
So, yeah. Leighton, I will block you if you keep doing this. You're not listening to the words coming out of my mouth. You've not listened to the words coming out of my mouth. If you keep lying about me, what I'm saying is we'll see. When everyone is fit and this manager has to pick a best 11, I don't think he drops Bentancur and PALHINHA for this guy. We'll see. I'm not saying he won't be in the first 11 multiple times this season. Listen to what I'm saying. Please stop doing this, Leighton. You've turned into I'll call it, you've turned into a bit of an arse, this show. You've turned into a bit of an arse. Chris, Chris. I'm going to ask you this before we go. Talk to me. Where are Spurs going to finish with this current squad? What are the expectations?
I would say, I think between 7th and 10th. We will be improved on last year because we've got a better coach who's going to coach players and has some sort of plan. But again, where are the goals going to come from? Where's the creativity going to come from? We've got a long season ahead of us with the additional European games. We're going to suffer injuries along the way. At the moment, we haven't got the squad quality or depth to compete on 4 fronts. So unless we get people through the doors, I think we're going to be at that 7 to 10 point.
Yeah. Listen, I completely agree with you. By the way, for anyone, a few people were talking about Patrick Schick in the chat. He has just signed a new contract. So I would forget that one very, very quick. Yeah. No, Leighton. No, listen, it's not about blocking you because my opinion's always right. You're spinning what I'm saying and put it out there, right? You're spinning what I'm saying. And I don't like it. I'm unlike you. I'm on camera saying my truth, right? I put my face to the camera so everyone can hear it. When you go and then try and tell people different things to what I've said, yeah, this is not on. Because what happens, I see this all the time, Chris. I go on other channels, people go, oh, so-and-so said that you said this. And I'm like, no, it's not what I said. It's not what I said. This is ridiculous. All over a conversation with Papa Sarr. Listen, Papa Sarr's okay. I'm not going to lose my mind over him. From what I've seen for the last 4 years, I haven't seen anything that makes me think he's a number 1 starter for Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah. Did he have a very good friendly against Arsenal? Yes. Is that enough to make me go, God, you've got to play for Tottenham? No. Standards. Let's get some standards going. Standards. Absolutely not. Chris?
No. It would be the sentiment and the outpouring of emotion that we're renowned for. If we were to welcome him back, you could just see the applause and the love that he'd get based on absolutely that a number of years ago he was a player of some potential, but never lived to fulfill that potential. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Savva said he was going to paint the fence. I saw it. Yeah, I missed a bit of painting the fence. It has now been done. I can assure you it has now been done. I just where I struggle with football fans, Chris, I struggle with the revisionism so quickly. Like, I love the way that all it takes is one good performance from a footballer and suddenly everyone raves about them. Everyone else is wrong. We never wait for consistency. We never wait for, like, why can't we wait for Gray, Sarr, break into the first team, be undroppable, and then turn around to people like me and go, there you go, they prove you wrong. And I say, fair enough. But we see, let's be fair. I say a couple of good friendlies. What, he scored 2 goals against Wickham at the training ground, right? And then a worldie from the halfway line against Arsenal. And suddenly it's, oh my God, Savva, look at Sarr. Fuck me. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
Crazy. Guys and girls, thank you very much. Really disappointed in the last 20 minutes. We've lost 7 subscribers. Really disappointed. Put a lot of effort, a lot of hard work. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Maybe I should read less comments. I've always wanted to be someone who interacts, but maybe people like Leighton make the show unsufferable. Maybe I'm a part to blame for that. Chris, thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate your time.
No
thank you.
Everybody. And you've almost forgot to acknowledge AFC Paphos' latest signing.
Yes. David Luiz.
Yeah, there you go. Sideshow Bob. Come on.
David Luiz, AFC Paphos. Big up to AFC Paphos, my 8th team. Listen, big up. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you to all of you in the chat. Let me just check. I've not missed any. I haven't missed any super chats. Thank you to everyone who's liked. Thank you to those who did subscribe. Really appreciate you all. By the way, come on, let's not do the Dele Alli chat, people. Come on. Surely, we moved away from that. I'll be back live at 6 p.m. with Perchy for the What Are We Doing Here podcast. And then we got the Spurs 5 over on the Spurs 5 channel at 8 p.m. Much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.